Welcome back, everyone. Bear down. We're back once again with more Bears content. This one is going to be one that interests me, and I think it's important for everybody to know to have realistic expectations about the salary cap and the limitations where we have placed on that, because it's not going to go as far as people might think. I see a lot of people talking about going out and getting Chris Jones or Christian Wilkins. That's not going to happen either way. But I want to explain, after yesterday's cuts of Cody, Whitehair, and Eddie Jackson, what that really means for the salary cap. And I'm going to tie that into dual effect this video with the crazy trade down scenarios that I had yesterday with Ryan Poles potentially becoming legendary if he trades 4 times in the first round, and what that would mean. So first of all, here's the salary cap after, this is projected, after the new league year starts. It'll be official where they announce, because the salary cap adjusts each year with the money that they see coming in and how much it goes up. They'll increase it 5%, 10%, 20%. Who knows after the record-breaking Super Bowl what it's going to do. But this is a projection based off of how it increases each year historically. And so it's going to be right around now, after those 2 cuts, right around $70 million. All right, with that, this is where we stand right now. We have an effective cap of about $55 million. Look at the bottom right. Because you have to allocate for those first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh round picks, how they're going to affect your salary cap. So you have to allocate those. And right now that sits just shy of $15 million. Now, each player gets the same base salary when they come into the league. That's $795,000. The difference is when they're a top, higher up the pick is, the higher the pick, the higher the signing bonus is going to be. And so for round 1, pick 1, you can see they're going to make about $7 million on that first year. Overall, it's going to be much more than that for the 4 plus the 5th year option that they're going to get. But this is where that stands. All right, but what happens in our crazy trade scenario if we end up trading all over the place and we trade 4 times in the first round? What does that do to our salary cap if we add those extra second round picks? What's that going to do to us? Now just imagine in your head Kevin Costner calling in Jennifer Gardner. Imagine him calling her in after they trade for the number 1 pick, and Allie, can we afford this? Oh, we'll have to shift some things around, but we can make it work. Well, this is what it would look like if we solely trade down with the Washington Commanders and get both their second round picks and a future first. It's going to add a couple million to our cap space. You see, it's going to cause a little bit of damage to us, but there's things you can do, and they're going to plan for that. We have $70 million in space, so that's just something you have to realize in taking this into consideration. It does affect things as we move things around. Okay, so what if we go crazy and do the crazy trade scenario I proposed yesterday, and we trade down from 1, down from 2 to 8, up from 8 to 5, from 9 to 16, and then we pick up 3 seconds and we have additional capital? What's that going to do to us? Well, you can see here, that's not going to change it that much because we traded down from 1 to 5 and from 9 to 16, so it's still going to be around that $15 million. All right, so there's the crazy scenarios, but the reality of this one is, there's the slide from yesterday. That would be real fun to have from 2025, first and seconds. Puts us in a fun position. All right, and then you get into free agency. This is where that leaves us, though. And this is what I want to show you guys. After you spent that $15 million on rookies, we don't have the entire $70 million to spend on free agents, because after you spend that $15 million, you've got $54 million left. And Poles doesn't like to deplete the bank account. He likes to make some mid-season moves, and he likes to have some flexibility. So if we go out and get all the guys that I proposed, let's say we just tag Jalen Johnson with the 18.8. Let's say we go get Connor Williams, and he will be on a discount because the first year he's not going to play half to 2/3 of it. Well, let's say we get both those guys. We get Curtis Samuel, we get Maurice Hurst, we get Xavier McKinney, and none of these are crazy free agents. I mean, these are all mid-tier free agents. Then you still got to sign a couple of guys to make the roster fill out. Dylan Cole on a minimum contract, Mercedes Lewis on a minimum contract. We're $5 million over all of a sudden. So we might not be able to snag all those guys that we wanted, which makes this make more sense that we need to do something, if not like this, at least this, to pick up those 2 extra picks. The Bears only have 6 picks this year, and we have 16 slots we need to fill. It doesn't go as far as people think. Salary cap can go in a heartbeat when you're trying to build a contending team. So there's a lot to think about and consider when you go through that. There are some things we can do to free up a little bit of that $5 million. As we talked about it yesterday, I want to explain what that means. So right now as it stands, that shows the dead cap at $4 million for this year for Cody Whitehair, and for Eddie Jackson, the dead cap at 5.58. Well, we can save an additional 2.69 roughly if we defer part of that to next year. Just because we've already cut them, because we've designated it that way, they can be a post 6-1 release for up to 2 players on your roster. So we can defer that 2025 money from both of them. And if you look on the third row over, down towards the bottom, 2024 dead cap, 2025 dead cap, it defers part of that. They still need to get paid it. They're still going to get paid that money, but we can defer part of that if we post 6-1 release them. So who knows what we're going to do, but that money is getting more and more valuable, so I can see both of them being designated as a post 6-1 release. They can still do their dealings. They can still have it figured out. It still doesn't hinder them. The Bears can designate it that way, but it does free up another $2.6 million, $2.7 million. And when you're looking at what you need to accomplish with this team and this roster, and if we want to be competitors, that might get real valuable real soon. And maybe we're not able to sign Curtis Samuel. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe we don't do that, even though he's got the connection with DJ Moore. Maybe we do need to sign or draft 3 wide receivers, or at least 2 wide receivers in the draft, and not Curtis Samuel, and bring back an Equinemius St. Brown. I know it's not ideal, but maybe that's what we have to do. So a lot to consider with the salary cap, guys. We're not going to be able to go out and sign just because we have $70 million. People see that and think, oh, we can go out and get 2 huge names and 3 huge names. Well, that's not the reality. Once you tag Jalen Johnson, once you pay those rookies, we're already down to $40 million. And we have a lot of slots to fill still on this roster. So there's a lot to consider there. All right, hope that helped out a little bit with the understanding of the salary cap. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Please comment below. If you haven't subscribed, I appreciate you doing so. If you haven't liked the video, please do that because it helps get it around to other people. It helps those algorithms out. And I do feel like there's some things to share here that people can value or they can learn from and are valuable. So until next time, there is going to be a post from Swifty today from the interview that we did. We did a podcast together yesterday. It's coming out. Look out for that because it's coming out. It'll be on his page. But I appreciate you guys checking it out. Until next time, bear down.